Hello and welcome to Breastfeeding in the News. This week's topics include the continued debate over the nanny state, Baby Gaga ice cream, new science on why we like sad songs, and a new way to earn one of the Girl Scouts' highest honors. But first, let's start with a recent report about ear infections. Apparently, ear infection rate in children has gone down over the last 15 years by as much as 30%. And while I know all of you watching this would love to say, yay, breastfeeding's doing its job, the researchers at Harvard want to disagree with you. According to their analysis, the reason the ear infections have gone is because we have fewer adults who are smoking. Fewer adults smoking means less secondhand smoke, which means fewer ear infections. I, however, feel that if we can continue to get fewer adults to smoke and more mothers to breastfeed, maybe we can actually make ear infections a thing of the past. In other health news, the American Academy of Pediatrics came out with a new stance on how to monitor postnatal glucose. Managing neonatal hypoglycemia now comes with instructions to not unnecessarily disrupt the mother-infant relationship and breastfeeding. Thank you, AAP, for letting us put the baby first before running any sugar tests. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And in case you missed it, a few weeks ago, Sarah Palin accused Michelle Obama of turning the U.S. into a nanny state. All because the Prevention of Childhood Obesity campaign includes in it a tax exemption, an IRS tax exemption, for anyone who has purchased a breast pump. In rebuttal arguments this week, one writer insists that if you're a mother on Medicaid or living on the minimum wage, chances are you're not going to be deducting itemizing your deductions anyway. Another writer also pointed out that the U.S. has had a long history of being a nanny state, going back as far as 1913, when the U.S. Children's Bureau produced a pamphlet which stated, and I quote, "To nurse her baby is the first duty of every mother." For those of you who are just plain sick of the whole argument, MomRising.org has started a petition to let those in Washington know that we want them to stop treating breastfeeding like a hot potato. This week, I want to give a big thumbs up to Illinois for creating hospital report cards that include breastfeeding rates. Not only for creating them, but letting people know about them. And so now you in Illinois, if you want to decide to pick a hospital that you want to deliver, and check on the breastfeeding rates before you go. I also want to give a big thumbs down to infant formula makers for their continual greedy exploitation of the world's babies. In 2005, the estimated world market for formula was $7.9 billion. In 2009, Nestle's, makers of Good Start formula, earned over $200 million in infant milk sale alone. Now, for those of you who are just simply horrified at the news that an ice cream maker in England is using human milk as an ingredient in their Baby Gaga ice cream, by the way, I believe Lady Gaga is trying to sue them over the name. Anyway, you may want to take a moment to consider some of the methods used by dairy farms that produce the good old-fashioned cow's milk in your ordinary ice cream. In New Zealand, for example, there have been reports of farmers inducing birth in their dairy cows up to 70 days before their natural due date, which, by the way, they have a 9-month gestation period just as we do. The reason for it is to put all the cows in the herd on the same milking schedule. And I thought the induction rate in American hospitals was fairly early. But who knows? We may have something to learn from dairy farmers. Apparently, getting young calves to wean from their mothers is a big issue for them, as it is for many human mothers. Their solution, they've created a new weaning device. Apparently, it's a piece of plastic with 2 prongs in it that goes into the young calf's nostril and fits there like that, with some other pointy things coming out the other side. And the idea is that every time the cow goes to nurse from its mother, the mother gets butted with these little pointy, prickly things, and lo and behold, the cow is weaned in just 4 days because the mother just keeps walking away. In other news, scientists have discovered that those of us who enjoy sad tunes may actually be getting high on prolactin, that hormone associated with pregnancy and lactation. It's also released if we're sad or weeping. So apparently, if you prefer happy tunes over sad ones, you're just not getting enough prolactin to really get into some of those really sad country western songs that we all hear sometimes. Now, over in Manhattan, that land of tall buildings and high prices, there's a dispute going on between the owner of a upscale lactation center and her landlord. Apparently, the landlord thought he was renting to somebody who was going to be providing a community service and takes issue with the fact that she's selling lacy black nursing bras for $145 a piece. In his mind, that does not meet the definition of community service. But on the other hand, you know, everything's more expensive in Manhattan, and if dermatologists can get away with selling their expensive creams and still be considered a medical establishment, well, what's wrong with, you know, selling a few pricey bras? Although I have to say I was a little surprised to find out that they were also charging $50 for a lesson on how to use a breast pump. The lesson comes free if you actually buy the pump. And finally, last but not least, let's all give a big round of applause for a young Texas Girl Scout named Ashley Nicola. Ashley was recently awarded the Girl Scouts Gold Award, an award that less than 5% of Girl Scouts ever receive. It takes over 100 hours and 2 to 3 years of community service to get this award. And what did young Ashley do? She got the award for designing and hosting a series of seminars on breastfeeding, the benefits of breastfeeding for teens. So there she is, inspiring the next generation. Ashley, we salute you. As for the rest of you, whether you are home right now, nursing your infant or toddler, or whether you're in a hospital, or a WIC office, or taking a phone call for La Leche League, take heart. I know a lot of your efforts will often seem unappreciated, but you too are inspiring a new generation, and I salute you for that. And that's it for this week. I'm Kathy Abbott, aka The Curious Lactivist, reminding you that you can find links to all these stories and more at my Facebook group, Breastfeeding in the News. Thank you.